Hi. In this video, we will explore how to define a Type 3 rigid connection using the VTS Virtual Tower Structures software. To create a beam-column connection, we use the Beam-Column Connections command from the Tower tab in Engineering mode. By default, when a beam-column connection is added, the rigid connection layout is set to Type 1. Note that in Engineering mode, only the currently selected layout is active, while others are grayed out. To select a different layout, we first switch to Fabrication mode. We then use the same Beam-Column Connections command, and from this window, we select a different layout. In this example, we will use Layout Type 3. Once the rigid connection layout has been selected, we switch back to Engineering mode, and click here to regenerate the model. As we can see, the members of the rigid connection have adjusted automatically, reflecting the change of layout. The next step is to complete the beam-column connection information. In this menu, we can specify the plate dimensions. For example, here we set an edge distance of 72 mm and an end distance, EV, of 28 mm. We also specify the end distance of the member shown here in blue, which in this case, is the sidebar. We will enter a value of 30 mm. We also specify the gap, which controls the distance between the end of the beam and the column leg. For this example, we'll use 150 mm. Next, we define the end distance for both the plate bolt group and the overlap bolt group. We then specify the plate thickness, and we select an option for the plate grade from the drop-down menu here. Finally, we set the bolt spacing and the number of bolts for both the overlap bolt group and the plate bolt group. Next, we click OK to validate the inputs, and we click here to generate the fabrication model. The updated model will then be displayed on the screen. These parameters can be edited at any time. For example, if we want to introduce a stagger between the overlap bolt group and the plate bolt group, we can adjust the end distance values. In this case, we'll change the end distance for the plate bolt group to 60 mm. We click here to generate the fabrication model. The position of the plate bolt group is updated automatically, and the revised model is displayed on the screen. Finally, in this case, we can reduce the gap between the beam and the column. For example, instead of using 150 mm, we can set the value to 100 mm. Once again, we click here to generate the fabrication model. And the model is updated automatically. We've now completed this tutorial covering the rigid connection command using the VTS Virtual Tower Structures software. If you need more information or have any questions, feel free to reach out to our team.